Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Belfast, Tommy Tolan.
Here's Tommy Tolan, 37 years old. Took this fight at late notice. Was originally supposed to be a booking for Lee Noble, who's a tall, slippery sort of fighter who fights out of the Ingle stable. Tommy Tolan, very different kettle of fish. Got a big right hand, and he's a bit of a brawler, and he'll give Rocky Fielding an argument for his money.
Please welcome into the ring the Rocky from Stockey, Rocky Fielding.
Rocky Fielding made his name as a prizefighter champion. Rocky from Stockey, he comes from Stockbridge Village. And like Tony Bellew, started his career at the Stockbridge Amateur Club before switching to the famed Rotunda Club. Undefeated in 8 fights, and he got that 6-fight contract with Frank Warren's promotional organisation on the back of what was a very good performance in coming in as a late substitute and winning one of the most exciting prize fighters that we've seen. Came through beating Patrick Maxwell, Joe Ainscoe and Tobias Webb. 6'2", big for a super middleweight, and he's got a lot of supporters here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest this evening, sponsored by Fat Gary Sports, is 6 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Firstly, weighing in 12 stone, 2 pounds, 4 ounces, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white and green shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Belfast, Tommy Tolan. And across the ring in the blue corner is a young man making his 9th professional start tonight. Please welcome from Liverpool, wearing the white and purple shorts, weighing in 12 stone, 3 pounds, 8 ounces, undefeated with 8 straight wins and 3 knockouts. The Rocky from Stockey, Rocky Fielding. The referee in charge of the action is Steve Gray of Fleetwood, who will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Come on, Rocky. Okay, boys, if I call break, you take 1 step back, okay? No punches on the back of the head. Touch gloves. Good luck, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6 3-minute rounds.
Big height and reach advantage for Fielding. There he is, and there's Tommy Tolan. Just 5'8", almost as wide as he is high, isn't he? And just demonstrating that he has got the appropriate gun shield. England rugby players take note.
Yeah, you say obviously height and reach advantage by Rocky Fielding, but it can have the opposite effect. It's, you know, it's very hard punching downwards as well. So if Tommy Tolan makes himself a little bit shorter, you know, he can make things hard for Fielding. But obviously Fielding should be using his reach, keeping that long jab, which he's got a lovely jab, and keeping him at distance and keeping him comfortable.
Very popular lad, Rocky Fielding. I was there when he won the prize fighter tournament at Liverpool Olympia, and it was an electric atmosphere that night.
Yeah, he was unbelievable, and you know, Rocky Fielding, he was a late substitute, but the most of the crowd were there to see him. So you know, they put him in last minute. It was a fantastic atmosphere there. I just noticed that Rocky Fielding slipping a little bit here in the canvas, and you know, it's happened to a couple of boys here tonight. I hope that's not going to play a factor.
There's that right hand. That's the damaging punch that Fielding has in his armoury.
Yeah, he comes off the jab. He sort of sticks a jab in your face, blinds you, and then throws that right hand over the top.
Tolan mentioned that right hand. That's his danger shot. Knocked out a young prospect called J.J. McDonough last year. Knocked him cold with the right hand.
Yeah, you see the way he does it. He dips his left shoulder and he's trying to throw that right hand over the top. Fielding doesn't want to get into a brawl with this guy. He's built for fighting, I think, is Tommy Tolan.
You only need to look at him to know what sort of a fighter he is, and there's a cut there. There's a cut around his left eye, I think. Try and get a closer look at that between rounds.
Yeah, the problem is Fielding's not letting him.
There it is.
Fielding's not keeping him off. It's at the corner. It's at the top of the eye, so it could look quite nasty if it opens up. Nice little right hand there by Fielding. But the problem he's not letting him. He's letting Tommy Tolan come into him. He's not keeping him away.
Let's try and see if we can see in the replays whether that's been done by a clash of heads. But you can see again heads going in close, and the referee Steve Gray is going to have to keep a watch on this.
Yeah, obviously Tolan's tactics are getting close and working close, but if the way he's coming in, heads are going to clash.
There's a clash on the. Looks as though there's blood seeping from a wound on the top of Tolan's head as well. Unless it's a smear which has come off Rocky Fielding's eye, but it looks as though he's got a gash actually on the scalp.
Fielding's just stepping in too quickly with that right hand, and Tolan's just dropping his shoulder a little bit, and he's going over the top. That was better. Just threw a jab, hooked him with the jab, and then followed with the right hand without stepping in. Again, he stepped in, and Tolan just dipping down a little bit, and he's just going over the top of him.
Rocky Fielding, when he won that prize fighter, came in, I think, at about 7 days' notice. Replaced Kenny Anderson, who in turn was sort of fought rather than Tony Quigley, who was originally in there. They sort of dug deep and looked at who was available, who was in shape, and Fielding was the man. Now here's Tommy Tolan with Alex Doherty and Gerard McCaffrey in his corner. Is this where it happens? Oh, maybe I might have been.
Could have been a little left.
Yeah, I think it was the left hand. It sort of slashed across, didn't it? A sort of cutting action.
Yeah, he will do, okay.
Obviously, he went for the chin. He missed the chin. He just sliced it. Maybe with the back of the tape on the back of the glove.
Just use the 1-2 basic shots.
No,
and then bring
right over the eyelid.
Operation, all right.
If it gets
and
worse,
the left hook, the best shot. I want to see it a little bit more.
Blind his left eye a little bit. But it looks like they've got it under control, so we just have to wait and see if he gets caught again, see whether it opens up.
Well, the referee's indicating to us that he believes it was caused by a clash of heads. I'm not sure that's the case. I think we probably saw the moment that it opened up with that left hand which sort of grazed across the face of Fielding. The ref's having a word with them, and it's about heads. But it's almost inevitable, really, when you've got such a size disparity as there is here.
Well, at the end of the day, Tommy Tolan can't stand off Rocky Fielding and expect to win. The only way he's got a chance of winning is getting in close, working the body and catching him over the top. So obviously you've got to come in. He's got to come in at a fast pace, which obviously is going to bring the heads together on times.
Few chance of Rocky. Corner have done a good job staunching the flow of blood, but referee will be keeping a close look at that injury because he didn't want it to get any worse on the eyelid.
No, that's better from Fielding, just keeping him at range, keeping him occupied, keeping Tolan busy with that jab, not falling in, just biding his time for picking up points.
How disconcerting is it, Enzo, as a fighter, when you suddenly realise that you are cut and there's blood coming down into your eye?
It can affect people in different ways. It depends how the fighter is. Some fighters will not panic. They just go back to the corner. They let the cutsman. They got full faith in the cutsman. Others will panic and think the ref's going to stop the fight. So they don't know how bad it is, and come out all guns blazing. So it depends each fighter. Each fighter acts differently to different things.
I suppose some fighters are more cut prone as well. If you a Ricky Hatton, then you're used to it. But James DeGale, for instance, when he was cut in that 9th round, was it, against George Groves, you could visibly see him thinking, well, this is certainly not in the script.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton would be more upset if he didn't get cut. I think he knew how to deal with it. He knew what he was doing. He was comfortable that if the occasion arose, it was all new to DeGale, and James DeGale visibly was affected by the cut. He kept dabbing away at the eye.
The referee seems happy enough with Fielding, who's doing a better job in this second round, keeping it at range.
Yeah, he's just inching himself forward and popping that jab out. Nothing stupid. He was falling in with the right hand in the first round. He hasn't done it so much in the second round. But you've always got to be careful with Tommy Tolan. He's come to the fight. He's come to get Rocky Fielding's name on his record.
Won 3 of his first 5. He was stopped in 2 rounds by Tony Jeffries last year. So when he stepped up in class, he has struggled, but last fought in September, so he's fit, he's in shape.
Yeah, he looks strong. He looks like he fancies the job as well.
The end of this round will show you again the moment when we think that the cut might have happened. Right hand from Fielding, right on the bell. But with the replay that you're going to see will be from the first round, when the cut over Fielding's eye was sustained, over that left eye. Let's have another look.
Oh, definitely a clash of heads there, John.
Yeah, you see, he winced and he knew straight away. And that's what the referee indicated to us, so spot on.
Like I said, Fielding was jumping in with that right hand, looking for the big right hand. Tolan was coming in at the same time, and obviously Fielding's going to come off the worst with Tolan's force coming, driving his head up.
Let it go nice and sharp, you understand? You understand? Okay.
Oliver Harrison there in the corner.
Okay, you're getting a combination of. He's slapping when he's punching, right? There's only one good punch got your arm right. Punching.
Associated with Amir Khan earlier in his career.
Yeah, I'm sure Oliver Harrison will be telling him now, keep it long, nothing stupid, don't want to get that eye any worse, just keep it long.
Again, we saw his feet slip on the canvas. Yeah, Rocky Fielding, as he tried to just step into Tolan and follow up that right hand.
Yeah, so few boxers has been affected by that tonight. You know, it can be quite off-putting when you set yourself for a punch, you throw a nice big shot, your feet go, it sort of changes your game plan.
Often used to be a problem in the outdoor fights, as the dew came down later on, or the rain, as was the case in Cardiff that time when Frank Bruno fought against Lennox Lewis.
Young pup then I was, John.
Did you watch it?
Of course I did. I was in a pizza house watching it, my father and his friends.
Heads again going in close.
I think Fielding here is just trying a little bit too hard to impress. He's trying to take Tolan out, and he's trying to, you know, obviously equal what Jeffries did by stopping Tolan, and he's trying a little bit too hard. And I think he just used the jab, kept him long. He'd open him up a little bit more. He'd catch him every time with the jab. But as soon as he throws that big right hand, Tolan's expecting it, just dipping low, and it's going over the top of him. And it's getting a bit messy then. But Fielding has got a lovely jab. Should be using a lot more.
Fielding, incidentally, real name Michael. He was given the nickname Rocky by his dad when he was a baby. Father Tosh boxed as a good class amateur in his day.
Yeah, but I don't really know him, but you know, obviously
looking into the cot and thinking, yeah, that's a Rocky if ever there was one.
Yeah, lovely family, all of them. I spoke to them after the prize fighter when he beat my nephew Tobias in the final, and you know they congratulated Tobias and, you know, showed a lot of respect, and you know, that's nice to see. This, you know, boxing. People think boxing is a brutal sport, but it is a sport of gentlemen. You know, they get the differences out in the ring, and more often than not, you see them hugging and kissing after the fight. Not obviously like Victor Ortiz hugging and kissing during a fight, and look what happens.
Well, Webb against Fielding would be another decent fight, maybe somewhere down the line.
Yeah, you know, the general consensus of that night was, you know, Webb had a very hard draw. Robin Reid and Jermaine Smile.
Yeah, fought Robin Reid, hadn't he?
Yeah, Robin Reid, he put a lot into that fight, and then obviously Jermaine Smile pushed him all the way. If I'm honest, I didn't want Tobias to go out into the final, but you know, he looked spent. He looked a spent force. Fielding looked fresh. He looked good all night. But you know, Tobias showed he's a warrior, and he wanted to go on.
He just got clipped by a left hand there. Fielding doesn't want to get careless.
He's a lovely boxer when he keeps it long. Tolan hasn't got much of a chance to get near him, but when he's stepping in, that's when Tolan's going to fire, and you know, that's when it's dangerous for Fielding.
The 3 rounds gone, everything going Fielding's way so far, but Just at times it's just got a little bit messy. A solid right hand from Fielding.
As you can see, Tolan's just trying to turn it into a fight. He's trying to get close, which is smothering Fielding's work, and you know he's getting brought into Tolan's type of fight. He should be staying long, keeping him on the end of the jab, and things will happen from there. You'll see different things, you'll see different openings. He'll be able to use his shots a lot, his long reach a lot better, instead of trying to fight Tolan, which he could get into a bit of trouble with.
So we move into the second half of the fight. It's the sixth round of the super middleweight contest, and Rocky Fielding from Liverpool on the attack again in the early stages here. And you can see every time he lands, crowds, many of his supporters springing to their feet. They'd love to see him win by knockout, but Tolan is a tough man.
Yeah, but when he's keeping it long, he's throwing nice long shots. Tolan hasn't got an answer, but then he feels a bit of excitement. Fielding, he goes in for the finish, and that's when he's getting caught, and that's when it's looking a bit messy. But every time he keeps it long, he's throwing nice long shots. You know, he's gonna.
Now the ref's having a word here about use of the head.
I don't think it's intentional. You know, they both coming together, they both clashing, they're both trying to make a fight of it, and that's going to happen. See, he just caught him coming in there, nice long, and then he dives in where he gives Tolan a chance.
Tolan just keeps coming though, isn't he? He's a strong fella.
Yeah, you know, he's taken some shots and he hasn't quit. He kept trying, he's switching stance, and he's making a fight of it. But he drawn Fielding into his fight.
Penny for Fielding's thoughts though, when he was ready to fight Lee Noble, who's slippery, rangy sort of fighter. Then suddenly, 2 or 3 days beforehand, it's not Lee Noble anymore, it's Tommy Tolan. It's a very different sort of set of problems he presents.
Yeah, it is, but unfortunately that is boxing. It's happened so many times in my career. I'm supposed to be fighting one person, then I'm fighting someone else, and by the end of the week I'm fighting the fourth person I'm supposed to have. But you know, that happens in boxing. Those are things you've got to deal with. But obviously he is young, he is still inexperienced as a professional, and you know, these things happen. He's going to have to learn how to deal with it in a little bit better way. But you are right, there's totally two different styles of fighters here.
Fielding still only 24 years old, and only in his 9th professional fight, undefeated as a pro. And 3 of those wins all came on the same night in that prize fighter contest. 3-round fights they were. Head goes boring in again from Tolan as he tries to put pressure on that far side of the ring.
He's totally neglected his jab for a minute, Fielding. He's just looking for that big right hand, catch him coming in, and he'd be much better off just pushing the jab in his face, going to set that right hand up.
A little bit of it may be having clearly got a lot of support in this auditorium, maybe just straining for the big shot that little bit too much, wanting to hear the roar of the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can see he's got talent. I think he's just trying a little bit too hard. When he's on his toes, when he's keeping long, he looks a good level fighter. You know, when he's trying to fight, he looks scrappy.
Fair play to the corner, have done a good job on that cut though.
Yeah, fantastic job. You know, it looked quite a nasty cut the first round, but he stemmed the bleeding. And, you know, it hasn't been a factor in this fight.
Rocky, can you look at me, keep your eyes open? Rocky, every time...
Just look after me there. Please, your eyes closed.
Every time you step up into the combination.
5th round coming up.
Aye. How do you think? Yeah, brilliant. 1 million. 1 million percent. Come on, we're on here. And then a big fucking tag here. And we're fans of Philly here. Come on, you hear me? Just for fun all day, son. You hear me? Yep. 2 rounds to go, 6 fucking minutes. Take a centre ring, feint, and get that going.
I get a bit of right hand all the time. So I'm just doing the right hand all the time. Come on then.
Well, you heard the end of the instructions there from Oliver Harrison, and it underlined what you were saying really, Enzo. He's just looking for the right hand all the time.
Yeah, and I think
Put
like,
some combinations together.
yeah, like I said, it just boils down to a little bit of experience, trying to impress the crowd, trying to impress the TV, and it just falling into the trap, like we seen in the last fight with Heffron and Pace. Pace drew Heffron into his type of fight, and that's what Tolan's doing the fielding here. And when you get stuck in a rut, it's very hard to get out of it.
This is where Tolan wants fielding.
Yeah, you know, this is the only chance he's got to work. Fielding keeps it along, he can't get in.
He has got 3 knockouts on his record. He can bang a little bit, can Tommy Tolan, if he gets in range.
Well, that's what he's looking for. He's popping that jab out. He's 2 or 3 jabs. He's just like, I think he's just looking for fielders' reaction so he can pop that right hand over the top, which is, I've heard, is his money shot. The fielder needs to stop him in tracks, and a nice solid jab, nice little body shot.
Good left hook, good left hook.
He needs to stop him in his tracks with a nice stiff solid jab, make him think twice about coming in. Give himself a bit of room, give himself a little breathing space.
All the time, the big arena here is filling up. 2 main fights of the night still to come. James De Gale against Piotr Wilczewski for the European Super Middleweight title, and the WBO Light Heavyweight Championship of the World, Nathan Cleverly against the big Everton supporter Tony Bellew. A lot of his fans are supporters from that side of the city's divide as well, so they'll be hoping for better fortune from their man than the football team had against Chelsea, defeated by 3-1 this evening. It's all getting a little bit messy.
Yeah, you know, Tolan's doing the only thing he knows how to do to win this fight, and that's getting close. But Fielding's coming into his game plan. He's playing into his game plan. He's drawing into the fight. Nice little right hand, and he come off the jab. Nice solid jab, stick it in his face, the blinding stick, and then pop the right hand over the top. But what Fielding's doing, he seems to be stepping in on the right hand too quickly, and Tolan's just dipping down and he's going over the top of it. He's a lovely boxer. I'd like to see him keep it along, use his boxing ability a bit more.
That's certainly what he was being told, or my impression of what he was being told in the corner. And he's dictating terms in the closing seconds of this 5th round. There's the head going in again. You see the wince from Fielding as he tried to keep it away from that damaged left eye. Manages to do so, and just 1 round remaining. I've got him winning every round though. Yeah, he won every round. He's looked good on times. No, I'm not going to be too harsh now. I'm not going to be too critical on him. He's inexperienced. He's just fallen into another man's fight plan. And Tolan's making him box the fight he doesn't want to box.
Winning easy.
6th round coming up. Oh, she's a big boxing fan.
180 seconds, let's go.
Nothing, sorry. Keep the hands up.
It's for tomorrow, I'm telling you, boys.
He's going to come.
Yeah.
He's going to come.
Yeah.
This is what we look down.
Let's get it on.
Listen, when he comes, when he walks in here, let them fucking go.
Come on, the let's go.
Apologies for some of the language in the corner, if it offends your finer sensibilities.
Unfortunately, John, you know, we're in a fight game. The pressure gets heated in that corner, and things come out we wouldn't normally see. But
sometimes you want to get your points across.
In a certain way, I used to have a few slaps at Benji Calzaghe in that corner. That was his way. But you know, Tolan, they fired Tolan up for this last round, and you know, he wants to come out fast. He wants to try his luck against Fielding. But Fielding looks well. He looks very good when he starts sticking that jab out and keeping it long. He looks very good. It's hard for Tolan to get in.
Good amateur pedigree, Rocky Fielding, who's Rotunda teammate of Tony Bellew, and of course Joe Selkirk, who's an emerging talent from this part of the world.
Yeah, Liverpool's pretty much a hotbed for boxing at the moment.
It's going well at the moment.
It's going well. You know, like we had in Wales not so long ago. Me, Gary Lockett, Gavin Rees, Bradley Price. Obviously, they're still about, but you know, when we were all world champions, it was a hotbed of boxing. I think that's what Liverpool is getting now at the moment. Champions breed champions.
Yep. Again, the messiness caused by the clash of styles. Tolan just trying to get in range and land the one bingo punch. Needs to find that big right hand from somewhere. Not really been able to land it flush.
Yes, styles makes fight, John, and you know, if Fielding had someone who was standing off him and trying to box him, he would look very good. But Tolan's come in, he's trying to rough him up, he's trying to make a hard night's work, and it is, because Fielding has fallen into his trap. But you know, this super middleweight division, obviously you've got the top boys in DeGale and George Groves, and then you've got a couple of boys lower down the pecking order. Some good fights out there to be made.
Crowd turning round, a little bit of a disturbance up in the bleachers, and the constabulary have escorted 2 or 3 people out who will see no further part of the evening's entertainment. Let's hope we don't see too much trouble. Final round, Fielding still trying to unload.
Yeah, he just wants to finish Tolan off. I think he wants to forget this night. He hasn't enjoyed it. It's been a hard night's work. But again, you know, I think it's his 9th fight. He's still experienced, still inexperienced. He's all learning. You know, he watch this tape. Next time he fights someone like Tommy Tolan, he will be keeping it long. He will be using that jab, and he will be using his range to better effect. Like I said, the super middleweight division, lower than the top boys. You know, some interesting matches to be made. I think everyone would like to see a rematch with Webb and Fielding, both on when they're fresh rather than when they've already done 6 rounds with other people.
Yeah, that'll be a decent fight, maybe somewhere down the line. Last few seconds then of the final round, and a few chants of Rocky, and the supporters get the result they want as Steve Gray raises the hand of Rocky Fielding, and for me, I had it 6 rounds out of 6.
Yeah, he won all around. Like I said, on times he boxed really well. On other times he let Tolan dictate the way the fight was made. But you know, good. You know, it was a good learning fight. He boxed well at times. You know, he'll watch this tape again. He'll learn, and next time he won't make the same mistakes.
So that completes the hors d'oeuvre. Next up, we have the main event, and Mark Burdiss shortly will confirm a big points win for Rocky Fielding over Belfast Tommy Tolan.
The referee scores a contest 60 points to 54. The winner in the blue corner from Liverpool, the Rocky from Stockey, Rocky Fielding.
Rocky Fielding, the winner. And next up, James DeGale against Piotr Wilczewski, and then the big one, Nathan Cleverly against Tony Bellew. I can hardly wait.
Never mind Rocky from Stockey, it was all a bit sticky for Rocky tonight, wasn't it? As John was just saying, next up James DeGale, the former Olympic champion who lost his British and Commonwealth belts last time out to his arch rival George Groves. Tonight though, he looks to win again as he goes hunting for European glory.
And it was good to hear Frank talking about the last man left standing. There's you and the your European title fight. There's George in his fight against your old opponent Paul Smith, and the winners there, or 1 or 2 of the winners there, end up fighting Kessler because he's done a deal with Sauerland. So that must have been music to your ears as well.
When he even mentions names like Kessler and things like that, I get a little shiver through my spine thinking, yeah, wow, imagine that, box for a world title. But I'm just ready to deal with my fight first and my business, and win the European title. Hopefully Gorgeous George, that's his new name, wins his fights and defends his titles, whatever, and then we can get it on again, and then we rock him up and then move on to the next thing, man. But boxing for a world title, someone like Kessler or something like that, that's a dream come true for me.
You know, James, you and I've known you a long while. We've done a lot of interviews over the years at different places, BBC, Setanta, and now here at Box Nation. And I always tell people when they ask me what you're like, I say, you know what, he's a nice guy. Why is it you think some people dislike him?
I don't know, you're going to have to tell me.
I don't know, I'm asking you genuinely. I'm not looking for
I'm
a
a nice, humble, family man. Like, I just don't know. Obviously, I'm confident, and some people take my confidence as arrogance. But it's not arrogance, it's that I'm so confident in my ability and where I'm going.
You won a gold medal at the Olympics.
That's what I'm saying. I won a gold medal for our country in 2008, and yeah, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one, but like I say, I've got my fans out there, and yeah, and hopefully I can build it.
Okay, let me just talk specifically about Piotr Wilczewski. I'm going to pronounce it because you're not going to pronounce it.
No, I
just
call him Pete. I just call him Pete.
Our mate Pete. Our Polish pal Pete. What do you know about our Polish pal Pete?
To be honest, not too much, Bunce, but the bits I've seen of him, he's a good fighter. His record speaks for it.
To this evening's